Welcome to PCGamer Radio. I'm your host, Lipstickpaddy, and I saw this video and I have to react to this. Star Citizen versus Star Wars. You won't believe these 10 Star Citizen ships are Star Wars rip-offs. You kidding me? You really think this is a rip-off? Firstly, this one on the right has a tiny cockpit that has a big flat wedge in front of it. It's not a wedge, I mean it's a cracker. A square shape out of it, which means you can only see forward, you can't even see down. It's a terrible design. Secondly, there's this big box in between these two wings. This is clearly on the end. It might be a nod to Star Wars, but it hardly is. I mean, this thing has 3 engines at the back. This thing's got an engine on each of the wing, and it also has one that folds down, doesn't it, for VTOL. I don't think this ship has anything like that. If anything, it's a nod to it, and it's nothing like it at all for me. I mean, when you're copying something, it needs to be exact, and if you look at these two ships, then not for me. Not for me.
Here's 10 ships that you can find in Star Citizen that look like they just flew out of Star Wars. The first ship on the list we're going to talk about is the Kruger Wolf versus
similar. Kruger have always gone for this kind of shape, so it's not like they don't. It's not like they've come out of Star Wars. They're copying the, if anything, their own Merlins, right? The other ships that they have. Clearly, the engines are actually at the side. They're not. They're kind of a side and down, I'd say. Here they're attached to the main fuselage, even though it comes out a little bit. You can hardly call that a wing. It's so short, stubby. Doesn't look like it's got any weapons. The cockpit clearly is ridiculous anyway on these Star Wars ships, as they don't. They were just doing it for graphic reasons. This has a beautiful feature of the wing as it cuts into the main fuselage. The Star Wars one's clearly almost double longer than this one, so that's ridiculous. And the Kruger Wolf, the underneath of it it goes quite deep, doesn't it? It's kind of like a whale at the front if you see it from a different angle. This one's clearly nothing like it. And again, it's like this one has engines, yes, on the wings, but also at the back. This doesn't have engines at the back. So again, it's more of a nod to Star Wars, but it's not a rip-off. That's ridiculous. And you've got to remember, Star Citizen at least does interiors and cockpits. Star Wars is just a mock-up thing that they throw in the movies. A prop, if you will.
the Naboo Royal Starship. As you can see, they both look very similar, which is very sleek and aerodynamic. They also have this metallic.
Aren't ships always sleek and aerodynamic? Isn't that a feature of ships per se?
Polish finish on them, and of course they both have this point
metallic finish on them. A lot of ships have that in Star Citizen and in real life, metallic.
That hull shape. They also
I would go as far to say that this Naboo one is chromatic, it's chrome. The one on the left isn't chrome, for goodness sake, it's like a matte silver.
Seem to be very luxurious and aesthetic, and we can also see that the engines are on both sides of the ship. So
a lot of ships have them, that's ridiculous to say. And the Kruger comes out of the wing, for goodness sake. This doesn't even have wings.
Wings are basically the engines. Next up on the list, we're going to talk about a very famous ship, which is the Scorpius.
I remember when this first came out, and it was laughable that people said it was a rip-off. Yes, it has this X-wings that open and close. However, there's some dramatic differences. Firstly, the cockpit on the Scorpius is right at the front, for goodness sake. The Star Wars one is slung back with the R2 on it. Plus, the Scorpius has a gun on it that can slide around and underneath it. The X-Wing doesn't have anything like that. The X-Wing has 4 engines in the middle near the fuselage. This has nothing like that. That's ridiculous. In fact, the Scorpius has quite a meaty fuselage in the centre, whereas the Starfighter here is basically a toilet tube extension with 4 toilet tubes at the side of it, and then some unravelled toilet tubes for the wings. Like, you could just make that at home, the X-Wing Star Wars. It's so simple. The controversial thing about the Scorpius is the bullets at the front, because of the convergence on targets in front of you, because they are so far apart. And so yeah, they're kind of looking at maybe fixing that, maybe. Plus the Scorpius clearly has missiles as well in the fuselage, and the X-Wing Starfighter looks like it doesn't have that kind of clarity. I mean, at the end of the day, again, the Star Wars ship is just a prop. So for me, not a rip-off, just a nod to.
Versus the X-Wing. I think everybody knows the X-Wing from Star Wars. It's a legendary ship. But in Star Citizen,
a legendary ship! I swear to God, these people that live in Star Wars are up their own arse sometimes. A legendary ship! I don't know about that. There's like millions of them, and they always get shot down. How can it be legendary? You know, if you want to talk legendary, maybe the Squadron 42 ships are legendary because they can come into a battlefield and just cut it apart when they come in. Anyway, throwing legendary around is very cheap these days for the Star Wars fans.
We'll find the Scorpius. If I'm going to point out the obvious, you can see both ships have the X-Wing shape, so the cross wings. And you can also see that the guns are located on the wings. So with the X-Wing and with the Scorpius, the guns are located on the wingtips. Of course, both ships are military ships. You can see it by the design. They look like military.
How does the Star Wars ship look military? It looks more like a racing ship with its red lines. I know that's supposed to be the colours of the Rebels, but for military in human terms, it would be camouflage. Etched, or, you know, with military, a matte military colour across it. It wouldn't have different colours like this. That's ridiculous to say that the X-Wing looks like a military ship. I could ask my son, he's 7 years old, he's got no experience of Star Wars, and I can come to him and ask him, does that look like a military ship? And he'd go, military? He'd be laughing at it, like the army, he'd say.
Ships, the aesthetic and the language of the design seems very aggressive and looks like fighter ships. For the next ship is going to be the Miss Reliant versus the T6 shuttle.
Kind of. It's again a more of a nod. The MISC in particular here does rotate, doesn't it? The T6 shuttle doesn't do that, and plus the MISC Reliant is smaller, I'd say. MISC Reliant also has like variants where it's like a camera crew for a news studio. And again, like the T6 shuttle, you would imagine the cockpit here is just been pulled directly off the Millennium Falcon cockpit as it is, just a rip-off. And then it's used a chocolate box for the centre of it. You've got no interior of that, that's stupid. And if you can't explain why you've got that shape, then you can't really explain why it's there. Again, it's a prop for me. Whereas the MISC Reliant specifically is that shape, so that it can have aerials on it as well when it's doing scanning, when it's doing TV. It's got cameras on the top. The fact that it can spin is so that it can land and stuff like that. Plus it has those large gaps at the back, and it has the classic MISC engines on it. The T6 shuttle, if it's a rip-off of anything, it's the Millennium Falcon. That's what it's been ripped off.
As you can see with these two ships, both of these ships' wings can rotate, so it can go from horizontal to vertical and vice versa. And both of these ships are designed around a large central vertical structure, I can say, or let's say the cockpit. As you can see, there's like a big nice round shuttle in the middle where the rings can rotate around.
The T6 shuttle rotates, does it? What happens to the chocolate box when it rotates? That doesn't look like it's going to rotate to me. Or does the whole chocolate box rotate? That would even make it look more stupid if it did that. I don't know, because for me, if you look at the body of the Reliant, that doesn't rotate when it moves. That's why it's got that big space in between it. That one on the right doesn't. I mean, I do like Star Wars, I've seen all the movies, I do like the IP and stuff, but I'm not a nerdy Star Wars fan.
And of course, you can also see that the engines are attached to the main hull, so to the centerpiece, which makes it very similar in design. And the design language is very similar. Both of them look like a fin fish, so it basically looks like those little fishies that you can find.
I don't think the shape of them is even correct, isn't it? Because if you look at the profile of them, the Mystical Reliant is got a real flat front, whereas the T6 shuttle is a crescent shape on the front, and it's flat at the back. The Mystical Reliant is more like a diamond, not a diamond, sorry, a triangle, like half of a kite, if you like, that kind of shape. Whereas the T shuttle, if you, it's like half of a grape or something like that.
Find in the sea, that's like horizontally orientated. Next we're going to talk about probably one of the best ships in Star Citizen, which is the Drake Cutlass.
Oh, he likes the Drake Cutlass. He's a Drake fan. I'm a Crusader fan. What can I? We all have our biases, don't we? No, I'm not seeing this. The Razor Quest. Is that Mandalorian ship that blew up? I don't think this is true, because the Drake Cutlass has arms at the front that clearly come down, and they offer protection to the cockpit when of anyone coming in as a T-bone attack on you, right? Coming in from the sides. The Razor Crest doesn't have any defense from the sides, someone shooting its cockpit. The Drake Cutlass specifically is cutlass. The cockpit goes right out to the front. The Razor Crest stops, doesn't like overhang it, as it will. Does have those, it's similar where you can like look out where your feet are. But no, it's nothing like it. I mean, the Drake has a turret on the top. It has Drake engines at the back. And it has that big cargo. I think the Razor Crest has 2 stories as well, isn't it? It's like a bounty hunter ship. So it's, I would argue it's bigger in scale, and so yeah, I can't see that one. Razor Crest is like a double decker. The Drake's one floor is pretty much. So yeah, it's just, I wouldn't even say it's similar, to be honest. I think the Razor Crest would need to have arms at the front, but yeah.
And it's going to represent the Razor Crest. At first glance, the ships doesn't seem that similar, but if you look a little bit closer, you will see both ships have big engines at the side. So both.
I wouldn't say the Drake Cutlass engines are big. I mean, the Razor Crest engines here are very big.
Both of these ships have very powerful engines mounted on top of the ship or right at the sides. Also, the ships look very similar in design, or the stylization of the design, which is very blocky, industrial and battle worn.
I can't see the battle worn Drake here. Drake are boxy by the nature of their manufacturer. The Razor Crest doesn't even have a manufacturer. So, No, I don't get that. So I really don't get it. I mean, the fact that it's double decker just throws me off it entirely. It's yeah.
But the appearance is very similar. You will also notice that the cockpit looks similarly. Both ships has this open cockpit where you can see everything around you. It's giving off that very commanding view from the cockpit.
Most cockpits supposed to do that for you. No, the Drake Cutlass, you get in the seat, it rotates, doesn't it, and goes to the front. Is that what it is? It's not like that skylight goes around, and it looks like that Drake Cutlass cockpit you could pull out. It looks like some kind of prefabricated piece that Drake have just put in there because they are cheapskate manufacturers. The Razor Quest cockpit and glass looks so well done. Like, it's so well fitted in that ship. I would go too far to say that Drake wouldn't have anything as elegant as that in the ships. Yeah. So no, they're not even similar.
Also, both ships are very versatile. Both ships are like this blocky.
And this idea, I keep saying blocky. These engines are clearly meant to suck in air and push out the back. Drake are just back thrusters, right? That they don't suck in anything from the front, so the engine, you can't even compare the engines. They're a completely different class.
Main hull type of ship which can carry cargo. It can even be a fighter. It serves a multi-ship role.
It can carry a little bit of armor. It's not that punchy, really. There's the ships that most ships could take out a Drake Cutlass these days. I don't think the ship is what it was, but I guess if you're a Drake fan, you've got a bias to it.
This type of ship you can see is probably one of the best daily drivers that you can have.
You've got some really crappy pictures here of Drake Cutlass. I mean, would it not look better on a planet? Or even in space? It looks like it's got no lighting on it, really. These pictures has got a Star Citizen. Making Star Citizen look like in a bad light here.
In Star Wars or in Star Citizen. Next up on the list we have the Drake Buccaneer and the Z-95 Starfighter.
No, not really. Starfighter's wings are long and thin as a piece of paper. The Drake Buccaneer has oversized engines, way bigger. Different cowling, of course. The Drake Buccaneer has the cheapskate cockpit right at the front of the tip. The Starfighter has the cockpit right at the back, almost like a Formula 1 driver. I just don't see it. I don't see similarities. Again, the Z95 is a prop, and they didn't actually think how these things could work like Star Citizen does. Plus, the Drake engines are open a little bit. You can see a little bit of the housing exposed, whereas the Starfighter literally just is a toilet roll. So, I would say Drake's way more sophisticated. I would never put that in the conversation, but hey, that's what this Scumback is all about. I mean, if you look at the Z95s here in this shot with them all in space like this, you could have had Buccaneers like that, done a picture of it, but then again, how many people have got Drake Buccaneers that could take a picture like this? I'm just, again, dogging Drake fans.
You can already see these ships look very similar with the engines. They have these big engines at the rear area of the ship, which is very high thrust engines. You can also see that they adopt this lean mean aesthetic.
Lean mean aesthetic? The Starfighter literally is two toilet rolls. If you put all these ships we've just been looking, they're using the same toilet roll design.
Of light to medium fighters, which I think really suits these two types of ships. They don't have a lot of armor or utility, they're just plain fighter ships. Both of these ships also have the same type of wing configuration. As you can see, it's very horizontal, located.
It doesn't really have the same wing configuration. Look how wide it is. The Drake one's like a little snub fighter.
Or less centrally on the ship. Also, the wings are supporting the engines. With the open engine look, I would say the design style is very similar. They have more or less this appeal of being hot-rodded, low maintenance type of ship feeling towards it. Next up we have the Mercury Star Runner. And
I think this is the worst one it's done yet. The Ebonhawk, this is from the fantastic Star Wars The Old Republic. What's it called? The RPG. My mind's just blown. It has like a stapler gun at the front. Does the Mercury Star Runner have anything like that? No. Ebonhawk has a half circle at the back. Does the Mercury Star Runner have that? No, it doesn't. I'm really not seeing this one. Let's see what he says.
The Ebonhawk. I think most people wouldn't expect the Ebonhawk to look like the Mercury Star Runner, but if you look at the picture you can see that they look very similar. Both of them.
No, I can't see that. I can't see that. I mean, that stapler gun at the front is so big and proud. Like, it doesn't really have that on the Mercury Star Runner. Plus, the Mercury Star Runner cockpit is classic Crusader Industries, that shape. And where is the cockpit on the Ebonhawk, I ask? Can you find it?
In
the stapler.
Plate type of shape, and they also look very asymmetrical, meaning that the one side is a little bit off from the other side.
Asymmetrical, I think he should be looking for. Yeah, it's got asymmetry, and that's something Crusader have been doing with some ships as well. They did have this asymmetric look, don't they? Some of them. That isn't something that they're similar. You can't say two asymmetric things are similar because they're asymmetric. That's just a coincidence. You can't really rip at something that's asymmetric.
Both these ships also have the same type of style cockpit. You can see that both cockpits is centrally forward, meaning
no, the cockpits look nothing like each other, and you can at least look out overhead in the Mercury Star Runner. You know, the glass canopy ahead, it's beautiful wedge shape, long and thin. The Ebonhawk thing is, again, if you was making a real spaceship, it probably wouldn't look like that unless you had cameras inside, you know, showing you what you couldn't see out of your own cockpit.
That they both have a nice little outlook. And both ships also have the aesthetic of being a smuggler/transport ship. So they have the same type of feel towards them. Also,
the Ebonhawk is a smuggler ship. Does that not depend on what character you rolled in the game? If you picked a Jedi, I don't think you would call that a smuggler ship. And no, the Mercury Star Runner is supposed to be a data runner, not just a smuggler. You can see the radar dish on the front. It's supposed to be smuggling data, not potentially cargo. Anyway, it does have those. It is supposed to have a shielded cargo area if you're moving drugs and stuff like that. But yeah.
These two ships have these little details on top of them. As you can see, the Mercury Star Runner has a shuttle dish. The same goes for the Ebonhawk. They also have underneath.
I don't think that is a satellite disc on the Ebonhawk. It looks like a turret to me. It's a long time since I played that game, but
a few little bits and pieces, meaning that these ships are used for data farming and so forth. So this ship is definitely multi-role, but it's mainly used for smuggling and to conceal cargo.
I don't think I'd do a combat mission in the Mercury Star Runner, whereas the Ebonhawk in the game was just a jack of all trades kind of thing, wasn't it? You couldn't have done a cargo mission on an Ebonhawk, though, even if you had a chance to do one. I don't think they existed in the game.
I must say I really like the Ebonhawk style. It looks awesome.
As a Drake fan, I don't share his perspective of beauty. I'm not a fan of the Star Runner, even though I do like Crusader. But each of their own.
Next up we have one of my favorite ships in Star Citizen, which is the Drake Corsair versus...
We had this one already. I had it, this was his splash screen, wasn't it? And I basically said there's nothing like it. Wings are too thin on the left side. The starboard! And it really is a large wing, isn't it? And you've got that cockpit that is completely different. The Drake Corsair has the the turret at the front as well. The turreted front, so cockpit above and turret below. Turrets at the side. This doesn't have turrets to the side. This has engines at the back. The Drake Corsair just has a big, ugly door at the back. It's really ugly. And one of these engines rotates for VTOL. So for me, this is 100% nothing like it. And for example, the Drake Corsair wing, the big wing on the left there, does fold up coming into land. And I don't think that big wing on the Thunderclap moves like that, does it? This is another ship from Star Wars: The Old Republic, isn't it?
The B7 Thunderclap. You can already see that these two ships look very similar. I bet the Corsair took inspiration from the Thunderclap. You can see they both have this asymmetrical / folding wings type of structures, which I think looks very cool. You can also see that they have this aggressive front heavy hull type of style. And they also have this long, somewhat angular and aggressive main hull, I would say. They basically have this aggressive military or heavily armed exploration vessel type of look.
I wouldn't call Drake Corsair military. It looks more pirate, doesn't it? I don't know, I wouldn't call it military. And that is such a weird cockpit design with that big wedge at the front on the BT7.
Also have to talk about the engines. You can see that the engines are exposed, or the engines or the thrusters are exposed. You can clearly see that the maneuvering thruster systems are rugged, functional and powerful. Overall you can see that the Corsair does the Thunderclap justice. Now we're going towards our favorite Dorito type style of ship. This is
I think you could have done a better ship than this. Do you know what I'm talking about? RSI have a bigger ship like this. Put the comment in below if you know what I'm laughing at. I think the Galaxy is more of a rip-off of this, but even then it's not. It's just similar. The Zeus doesn't look anything like it. I think the Raider class Corsair, the cockpit there is at the back at the top, isn't it? Whereas the Zeus has it right at the front and has those flappy engines. No, I think he needs to come back and do a comparison with... He needs to come back and do a comparison with the Galaxy. I think that one's more close to it.
Is the RSI Zeus and the Raider class Corvette. You can see that both ships have this long tapering wedge style hull, which also comes to a point. You can't really see the cockpit of the Raider, but I expect the cockpit is at the back and with...
If you looked at the skeleton of the Zeus, the shape isn't like this though, is it? It's... because it kind of goes high here and then it goes kind of down and across. It's not flat across here. It's not like wedged like the Corsair is, like the Galaxy is. So it's no, I think it's too different. It's just a bad one that he's done.
the Zeus, the cockpit is at the front. Also, the two sizes of the ship differs. The Zeus is a much smaller ship than the Raider, but you can still see the Zeus took inspiration from the Raider class by having this layered panel style of design.
These panel design though is RSI Geeblings and stuff, isn't it? They like doing this kind of stuff. This design at the front though goes to this weird kind of beak almost, isn't it, at the front? The Zeus looks nothing like that shape at the front. That's like long and thin. I don't agree the front of it looks like that.
With all of the panels, vents and layers being stacked on each other. Basic.
Hang on. Let's look. I want to see this outside galaxy. Come on, computer. That's closer. For me, it's closer design, closer to the same shape, but it's still not the same though.
The design speaks high-tech, reinforced and functional military. Now we're moving on to probably one of the most iconic ships in Star Wars, which is the Mirai Guardian versus the TIE Interceptor. Both
TIE Interceptor. I don't know about this because the Guardian itself is like big, isn't he? Like it's such a big ship, whereas the TIE Interceptor is like a small ship. That's what I feel like, because if you ever see the Mirai Guardian in the game, it dwarfs fighter ships. I mean, it's really big. It's like a heavy fighter, and so yeah, I mean, similar. I don't know about that. It's supposed to be an alien ship anyway, isn't it? And it's got the two crab lobster arms. I don't think the TIE Interceptor is like that. Plus the Mirai Interceptor lobster arms, they aren't exactly flat like the TIE Interceptor. And they don't seem to have... The TIE Interceptor's not got these arms sticking out here. The centre core of the ship is much closer towards the lobster arm, so I'm not really going to give it... I know the cockpit is round, that's the other design language that you might say similar, but the actual housing of the ship isn't circular like the TIE Interceptor here.
Ships has this intimidating style of wings, which the four panels are pointing forwards towards you, making the ships almost look like a predator. Both of these ships' cockpits are also located in the center of the hull. You can see it's basically the small pot right into the middle for an aggressive one-eyed look. And of course these side wings / panels are protecting the cockpit. And overall you can see that the design speaks speed and maneuverability, and also fighter. With the weapons being mounted on the panels or the side wings, you can...
The Mirai Guardian though is not exactly nimble, is it, when it's turning? I mean, it's a big ass ship. It's not got the agility of the TIE Interceptor.
See that it looks very aggressive and that this type of ship is ready to rip your ship apart. Now for the last ship, we're going to talk about the two hammerheads in Star Citizen and in Star Wars.
I don't know if this guy's been on a hammerhead. There's like a center, the center of this ship here, you could put your hand through it if you was Zeus. You know, like if you're walking through the center of the ship, there's a window out into space, you know, in the hammerhead. It has a hole. I don't think this has it. You could argue that this head shape is similar to the hammerhead here, but it doesn't have turrets on the top or the bottom. It doesn't have them there. And I don't think the hammerhead corvette is a gunship like the hammerhead is. And does it even have a turret at the top? He's got another bad picture of a RSI ship. I mean, come on, dude, you're making the game look bad. The hammerhead looks way better than that in game. This is a terrible picture. And the back of the ship looks nothing like it. This has got like 2 fuel pods sticking out the side. It has that bottom engine on the hammerhead corvette, and the Aegis hammerhead, the top of it is flat all the way across it, which obviously makes its shield more uniform and easier to manage, because if you have all these if you have a ship this shape, then you would need several shields maybe to cover all these sections, and it would be more expensive on power to do it. So, you know, the Aegis hammerhead, it looks more military. The hammerhead corvette here looks more like a civilian ship.
Both of these ships have the same name, which is the Aegis Hammerhead and the Hammerhead Corvette. Of course, these 2 ships looks like hammerheads. One is just rotated.
No, they're both called hammerheads because they look like a hammerhead shark. Yeah? Are you with me? If you actually look at the Aegis hammerhead here, if you look at the ship, the turret that's coming off there isn't that big. The hammerhead corvette here, this is really big. It's like the same size as the fuselage, 3 times the fuselage. Whereas the hammerhead, it's maybe 50%. So this corvette's got a really big hammerhead front.
Vertically, and the other one is just rotated horizontally. Both spacecrafts are large military grade vessels designed to operate as a corvette or patrol ships. You can also see that both ships are very turret heavy, having the same type of role and style. Great for being defensive and offensive with their massive amount of firepower. You can also see that both of these ships have an angular, rugged, functional type of military aesthetic with heavy plating and multi-sections hull, making them this aggressive, blockish type of heavy-duty military ship. If you've liked this video and you want me to make another video, make sure to subscribe and leave a like.
Well, thank you Fusion Thunder for that video. I had some fun doing a react. Obviously, I'm desperate for Star Citizen news as it comes around the corner, and I thought I'd have a look at this just for some entertainment. Please check out Fusion Thunder's channel. I'll leave it in a link below in the comments, of course. And let me know if you find any interesting videos yourself on this road to ZitCon, and share them with me so we can share the fun, because heck, we are in this period, it comes around every year, when there is a lull, what would you call it, a fasting of information. I don't know. But yeah, if you like the video, please leave a comment down below of anything then that you're watching that you think I might be interested in watching. I'm not going to do react on stuff. I don't usually do reacts, but I thought I'd do a react on this because I wanted to see if I believed in its comparison and it felt more fitting as a react than normal. So yeah, give Fusion Thunder a thumbs up, and I'm already subscribed with this guy on my PCGamer radio channel, which is where I am now. I'm currently on my Kickstarter Radio 102.4 channel, which is my other big channel, which is based on board games, which has kind of gone quiet due to the tariffs having an effect on board games. I'm sure I'm boring you though. Anyway, this has been PC Gamer Radio. I've been your host, Lipstickpaddy. You take care, stay safe, and bye for now. Bye-bye. Well, thanks for watching. And if you remember, you can please subscribe and like the video. And don't remember, you can also hit the bell for notices on the channel. Yeah, we've also got a Twitter you can see on our banner, so check that out too. So take care and bye-bye.